I'm waiting for somebody. Hello, I see first spectator. Which country are you from? Hello, from Argentina. Buenas noches. Un saludo. Bueno, para hoy voy a... Scotland. Okay, so if you are from Scotland, so I need to speak English. From Chicago. Okay, hello. Okay, so what is plan for today? First of all, I want to explain games 5 and 6 from the match between Adolf Anderssen and Wilhelm Steinitz, which was played in 1866 in London. In the previous video, I analyzed the first 4 games from this match. After game 4, the score was 3-1 in favor of Steinitz. So now game number 5. So again, Adolf Anderssen played e4, and after bishop c5, he chose Ivan's gambit. Black has choice now, as I explained it already. Bishop b6 is possible as well, instead of capture of pawn. And bishop e7 as well. Your correction of game 2... for today it will be no King's Gambit. Okay, but I can explain. Yes. I remember who are you and what you mean. So I need to admit my mistake. So after f4 in game 2, it was game 2 or game 4. I don't remember. Okay, so after this. Bishop c4, g4, knight e5, queen h4 check, king f1. Okay, maybe not everybody listened at my previous videos. I explained that knight e5, according to modern theory, is very dubious. The best try for white is castle and to play Muzio gambit, and according to my memory, the theory is more or less queen f6, e5, queen takes e5, d3, bishop h6, knight c3, knight e7, bishop d2, knight c6, rook e1, queen f5, something like this. And something like this is main theory of Muzio gambit, but I didn't check it during for a long time. Okay, so but after knight a5, queen h4 check played Adolf Anderssen, king f1, knight h6 he played, although knight c6 was better, as I explained. And after knight takes f7, bishop c5 is strong, although other moves are possible as well. For example, f3 is interesting here, or even knight a5 looks logical with idea knight h8, knight c4, and white has problem with his knight. Okay, so but Anderssen played knight h6, d4, and now another interesting moment which I didn't mention in previous videos. So d6 played Anderssen, and after knight d3, f3, g3, now queen h3 check, king e1, and now black cannot play queen g2 because after knight f2 and bishop f1 is coming, queen is trapped. So Anderssen was played queen h5 to avoid knight f4, and so bishop e3, not bishop e3, because somewhere bishop d2 was played, so knight c3 probably, was played, and c6. And now, Steinitz played bishop d2, and my suggestion was bishop e2, bishop e3 with pawn queen d2 and long castle. But bishop e3 and queen d2 is anyway, it's very logical idea. But improvement of my spectator was that long castle it's not possible because white king already moved. So. But anyway, bishop e3, queen d2, even without long castle, looks like pretty logical for white, and probably at least not was that choice of Steinitz with bishop d2. And also I want to add that here f3, it's immediately interesting option. I don't know why Anderssen didn't play this, because if now g3, queen h3 and queen g2 is coming, so after f3, black has quite a strong contraplay, in my opinion. Because f takes g2 is threat somehow, and then queen h3, d6 or knight c6 still option in some variation. So f3, it's a very interesting alternative, probably much better than d6, what Anderssen played. Okay, so this... I don't know if it loosened, but surely it's very dubious. But okay, I don't know if probably according to Stockfish or other program, Muzio Gambit, it's totally incorrect. It's totally possible, but at least it gives good practical chances. And for example, against Nakamura, I played bishop g7, more safe line for black. Idea if d4 to play d6, and black has one extra pawn with quite solid position. Okay, so but it was before. Now I will consider game 5. So Anderssen is white, Steinitz is black. So maybe if you want to play King's Gambit, especially with knight f3, because white has other option. Knight c3 is possible as well. Steinitz Gambit or bishop c4 is possible. So knight f3, g5, probably h4, g4, knight e5, the most promising line for white. Kizaritsky Gambit, but okay, I have... it wasn't my idea to analyze this position today. So many games was played. Okay, so knight f3, knight c6, Evans Gambit again, or Evans, okay, I don't know what is correct pronunciation. Bishop c5 again, also at the moment bishop a5 is more popular, or bishop e7 as well, this idea of d4 to play knight a5. And if knight takes e5, knight takes c4, knight takes c4, d5, e takes d5, queen takes d5, knight h3, and now black has many moves. Position is approximately equal. Queen a5, queen d7, queen d8, all of these moves are possible. Also, instead of knight takes e5, it's possible for white to play bishop d3 or bishop e2, which gives some compensation for the pawn. Okay, bishop c5 was played, d4 is correct, e takes d4, now castle. As I explained it in my previous video, c takes d4. It's a very interesting line. After bishop b4, white has choice between 3 possibilities. Knight bd2, bishop d2, or even king f1 is possible. So position is pretty unclear, but white has serious compensation for the pawn. So castle, d6, c takes d4, bishop b6, normal position of Evans Gambit, and for me here the most logical moves looks like knight c3. But again, Anderssen is playing d5 and knight a5, very dubious move in my opinion, so much more logical looks knight e7 or knight e5. For example, if knight e7 Black plan is simple: knight f6, castle, and knight g6 later. So e5 probably the most principal reaction, but okay, it's a very unclear position. For example, knight g6 is possible. If e6, black can just take and play queen f6. Not with idea to take the rook, but with idea to prepare knight g7 and castle. Also interesting line is d takes e5, knight takes e5, knight f6. d6 looks like... okay, knight takes f7 we can consider as well, but after this black has knight d5 and bishop d5, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, bishop e6, and what is this? Queen h5 check, king g8 probably, so maybe black is okay here. If d takes c7, queen d4 is coming, so something like this. Another interesting line is d6 here. Queen takes d6, knight takes f7, and now it's funny line, just a moment, I want to remember how it was. This is funny line. Bishop f2, king takes f2, queen c5 check, bishop e3, queen takes c4, knight takes h8, knight g4 check, king g1, knight takes e3. It looks like black is winning, but suddenly there is rook f8 and queen d8. Checkmate. And a knight on h8 is very useful for white here to control f7 square. Okay, of course this line is not forcing, so after knight f7, queen takes d1 is possible, rook takes, now castle is maybe the best. Bishop g4 also it's possible to consider as well, but bishop g4, rook e1 is coming, so castle, for example, bishop e3, c5, something like this. And okay, now white has good compensation for the pawn. So maybe knight g6 is the best solution for black. And I'm not sure that white has enough compensation here, although its position is sharp. Also possible knight e5, of course, here. Very logical. After knight takes e5, d takes e5, bishop b2, because bishop d4 was threat, so, and now not so easy to defend the pawn, but black can just play knight f6 after bishop takes e5, castle. And bishop, pawn e4 is attacked. If knight c3, for example, rook e8 is coming, so looks like totally good position for black. But knight a5 I don't like, but second time Steinitz played this, and I explained it already that bishop b2 looks like inaccuracy that much stronger is bishop d3, because queen f6 is not threat. After queen f6, knight c3, bishop b2 is coming with big advantage for white. So, oh, okay, black need to play anyway knight e7, but after knight e7, white has more possibilities because bishop somewhere can be useful on d2. But okay, bishop b2 was played, knight e7, knight f6 was alternative, but as I already explained, Steinitz, if he has choice between knight e7 or knight f6, he usually prefers knight e7. Probably with idea knight g6, probably with idea to have f5 as option. Okay, so bishop d3, castle, knight c3, c6, queen d2, f5. Okay, it's understandable play, not forcing. Other moves was possible. For example, here it's possible to consider knight g6 or even bishop g4 is possible to consider. So f5 is not necessary, but okay, Steinitz wants to fight against strong white center. Also now black king, it's a little bit weak, so things are not so easy. And Anderssen is preparing attack. So rook e1, he is ready to give another pawn. So takes, knight d5. Attack is started. No. h6 played Steinitz. Bishop f5 was possible as well. I don't know what is this. Maybe takes and knight e6 was afraid Steinitz, but I don't know if it's... okay, I don't publish PGN. Well, I save PGN for myself, but okay, if you are interested, you can just write me your email address. I will send you by email. If you need PGN, I will save it surely. So please write me your email address and I will send you after finishing my stream. So bishop f5, okay, maybe takes, knight e6 is possible to consider, but I don't know what is this. For example, queen d7, knight takes g7, and now... what is now? Rook takes f3 or knight c4 is possible. Knight c4, for example. I don't know what is this. So black king is weak, but black has contraplay, or just take firstly and now knight c4. It's also possible. But now queen g5 is unpleasant, because there is no rook. But okay, queen g5, if knight takes b2, knight f5 check, and if king h8, rook e7 is coming, and white is winning. If king f8, queen h6. So maybe knight c4 is more precise. With don't lose control g5 square. Hello. Which country are you from? So okay. Please write me. Okay, so Voyetra, and after Voyetra, Gmail or Yahoo or what? Voyetra, I will write now. Voyetra, and after dot, what after dot? Because I see only 3 stars after dot. So after dot, Gmail or Yahoo or Hotmail or what I need to write? Please explain me. Voyetra dot, but after the dot, what? Hotmail, hotmail.com. Hotmail.com. Okay, I will do it. Hotmail.com. Okay, so Voyetra, hotmail.com. Okay, so I will do it. I wrote your email address. I will send you today PGN file. So knight c4, and okay, so it's not clear. Is it white attack so strong? Saludos. Okay, but so bishop f5 maybe was possible, at least looks like logical. But maybe, no, maybe white has bishop g7. Yes, bishop g7 is coming. And bishop d3, queen d3, h7 is attacked, so this, and knight e6 is coming, so bishop f5 is mistake. Then we can ask to send okay, so I will send to Vietra if somebody knows him. Okay, so they can ask him probably. Okay, so bishop f5 doesn't work. It's important moment, but Steinitz played h6. And now, what is this? Knight e6 played Adolf Anderssen, but maybe white has alternatives. For example, bishop h7, it's possible to consider. King h8 only move. Now, for example, knight f7, rook takes f7, queen takes h6. At least looks like pretty tempting for white. So bishop g6 is threat. So black has choice between rook f6 or knight f6. Knight f6 is strong, and the problem. But bishop takes f6. Bishop f6. Then white will not have bishop g6 check. And important that after queen h4, knight takes h7 is coming. But so if queen d8, bishop takes d8. But knight g5, it's interesting. And if queen takes g5, rook e8 after knight f6 is your proposition. Rook e8, interesting, also possible. Queen takes e8, bishop takes f6. Yes, it looks like very interesting. Maybe winning. But black can also take with knight, bishop g6, king g8. Very dangerous. Okay, so if this bishop takes f6. But now g takes f6 is possible and no mate. Okay, but why not queen h4? Just quiet move with idea to prepare bishop g6 check, and so knight takes h7 looks like forced, and knight g5 is coming. And queen takes g5, rook e8, it's just mate. So queen g8, rook e8 as well. So looks like white is winning already. Okay, so what black has? So rook f6 maybe. Rook f6 is possible maybe. Yes, but I'm not sure is it help. So for example, I just take. Queen cannot take because rook e8, so knight takes, queen h4 is coming. Looks like bad news for black, because bishop g6 is threat, and then knight g5 is coming. So after knight takes h7, knight g5 again, with not only queen h7 is threat, but also knight f7. If queen g8, rook e8, of course. So it looks like here Anderssen missed clear win. So bishop h7 looks like winning way for white. Also, maybe knight e6 is possible with same idea, but okay, so maybe this is possible. But okay, not so sure, because now black bishop is more active. So okay, knight f7 looks like clear way for win. So knight f7, okay, rook takes f7, queen takes h6, and I don't see defense for black. So knight f6 or rook f6 only moves, but if knight f6, queen h4 is coming, and Looks like white is winning. Knight g5, bishop g6, everything. If rook f6, I'm just taken, and queen h4 again. So, okay, g5 maybe can be considered. g5, knight takes g5, king g7. Okay. Rook e8, bishop f5. Where rook e8, bishop f5? Where rook e8, bishop f5. So we are considered knight f7, rook f7, queen takes h6. After queen g8, rook f6 or knight f6? Rook f6. This queen h4, knight h7, knight g5, queen g8, rook e8. So now bishop f5 you want to play or what? Or where? But now if bishop f5 I will play this, mate. Or you have knight, yes. Knight f6, okay, maybe rook f6, maybe it's not direct win, so bishop takes, but if necessary to take, if queen h4, rook f4 is possible. Yes, if queen h4, rook f4, so takes, logical, takes, and now after queen, maybe g5, okay, it looks like very, very dangerous for black, but I'm curious if there is force in win. If, for example, queen h6, black has knight g4 and not losing immediately. So knight takes g5, king g7. No, bishop g6, no, because king will take, but okay, white to play bishop g6, white has very strong attack. Okay, for example, bishop d3 I can just play, so it looks like very bad for black because queen g3 is threat. Okay, so difficult to believe that black can defend this position. So it looks okay. We can also consider knight e6 here. Knight e6 and bishop h6 with same idea, but now white has no ideas with rook e8 somewhere, so probably it's, for example, knight f6 is possible. Now knight f6 is possible. Okay, but here, here after knight, rook. So here after knight f6, queen h4. I utilize weakness of e8 square. So important not play knight e6, but knight f7. So it looks that in this moment, after bishop h7, Anderssen could win the game. But he played knight e6. He missed his chance. So now also looks like promising for white, but at least there is no force in win. Refutation after g5, okay, it's not, okay, just knight takes g5 I'm taking, so king g7 it's only move, and just bishop d3, and it's just very bad position because material is more or less equal, but black king is under as a terrible attack, so I think, and white and knight on a5 and bishop on b6 is totally out of place, so I have feelings that white can win. King f7 after bishop h7, king f7, sorry, it's not legal move, king f7 now. queen h8, rook e7 check, where? Ah, queen h8, rook e7, yes. So here, of course, queen h8, rook e7 is coming, but yes. But for example, even imagine that there is no rook e7 immediately. Just queen g3, it's pretty unpleasant for black. For example, knight g4, knight e6. Bishop e6, rook takes e6, and looks like white is totally winning here. So knight e6 he played. Probably mistake. Okay, we will see. Maybe it's also good enough, but looks like bishop h7 and knight f7 was possibility of direct win. So bishop e6, rook takes e6, queen d7 played Steinitz. Knight f4 looks very natural, but what is this? So probably he afraid rook takes d6. What is other reason? Rook is attacked, and so rook takes d6. But okay, so rook takes d6 is possible, but the position is totally unclear. For example, black can even just take, after bishop h7 to take, after queen takes d6. Okay, so if rook d8, queen e5 is coming, so knight c4 looks like the logical move. Queen b4 only move to protect the bishop. Knight takes b2. Queen takes b2, and this is position. How to evaluate this position? Difficult to say. Maybe approximately equal after rook a e8, for example. Material is even, so rook, bishop, and pawn, it's enough material compensation for her queen, and black has active pieces. So looks like rook e8 or maybe rook d8 as well is possible. So this, okay, it's a complicated position, but in my opinion, okay, it's more or less equal position. I don't know, maybe rook e1 is possible here, by the way, but because if knight d3, knight d3, queen c2 was my idea, or queen but no, not possible, because bishop takes f2, and then bishop takes e1. So if king e1, just take, and knight is under pin, and so rook e8, so rook e1 immediately. Okay, maybe queen c2 check firstly, and then rook e1 somehow. But okay, black has active play, for example. They can take, and rook e8, and rook e2 is coming. So, okay, so looks like knight e6 was a huge mistake, and now after knight f4, black at least not moves. Hello. So, if you speak Tamil, I only know one word. It's pump, which means snake. Anand explained me this word. If you speak Hindi, I remember word bahu, which means woman before the marriage. So that's all. So knight f4 was good. So queen d7 played Steinitz. Very strange decision for me. Now rook g6. Now again he's rook h6 and queen c3. Where rook h6? Here rook h6. Okay, takes. Queen c3. Daughter-in-law. Okay. Daughter-in-law. And this, okay, this doesn't work because, because queen f6. I remember Bahu from Indian films. So rook h6 is losing. Yes. So after knight f4, so rook d6 looks like fourth in line, but as we can see, black at least not worse after the queen sacrifice. Although maybe possible to consider queen c8 as well, with idea queen g4. Who knows? Knight e5 probably. Okay, then. Now white is more active. So I prefer queen takes d6. Okay, so queen d7, rook g6. Now again, black is so looks like queen d7 looks like mistake again. So after rook g6, knight f4 is forced because rook g7 and queen h6 is threat, and now white took queen, and this position looks much better for white. Again, material is more or less okay for black, but now white has active pieces, and black king is very opened. So rook f7 if was possible after rook g6. I don't think so, because queen takes h6 is coming with threat knight g5, so no, knight f4 is the best chance, but this position looks like very bad for black. So I have feelings that white can win in this position, and by many ways. Knight h4 played Adolf Anderssen. Also very interesting looks bishop b1 to prepare queen c2 idea in some variation. So, okay, but knight h4 is logical enough. By the way, nothing wrong with rook e1, with idea rook e7 check, and what to do. So it looks like easy winning for white already. If knight d3, okay, maybe queen takes d3 and rook e7 still threat, and pawn d6 is hanging. For example, if this, white can just take the pawn because rook e1 is not made. So okay, rook e2 is possible, but okay, so it looks like very bad for black. If rook e2, how to win in this position? Maybe not so easy, however. Okay, maybe bishop b1. Okay, so this. Okay, but what is problem, for example, with g3 to prepare knight h4? So, bad for black. Okay, bishop b1 I like anyway. This idea to prepare queen c2. Also queen takes d6, still threat. Okay, but knight h4 looks like also very logical. So knight takes d3, queen takes d3, rook f6. Anyway, white has excellent position. Knight f5 check, king f8, queen h3 played Adolf Anderssen. Probably queen c3 was interesting alternative. Because if rook takes f5, rook takes f5. No. Maybe this also. If queen takes a8, rook f8, and suddenly queen is trapped. If rook, but rook e1 is winning. Now, if rook e5, I will just take the rook and with winning position. And if king f7, I have this, king f6 this, and queen e6 check, and then take the rook. If queen d7, queen h7 is winning. But not queen takes a8 because of bishop takes f2. But queen h7, it's totally enough. So queen c3, so only move king f7. to avoid this. So rook takes f5, loosened by force. So king f7, okay, bishop d8 is possible, but doesn't look serious because after bishop d6, bishop d8, black totally losing coordination between their pieces, and white has many ways for win. So, but if king f7, okay, I can play queen h3 now. So, and this idea knight takes h6 with check, and or also queen h5 check with if rook h8. So this position looks like totally winning for white. So queen c3 was really strong, in my opinion. Okay, so at the moment I need 5 minutes break, so I will come back soon. Please prepare your questions. Break. Attendance break. So I am here again. Is everybody can hear me and see me, of course. Hi. Okay, good. So the question if Evans Gambit or King's Gambit, okay, very difficult to say which of this gambit gives better practical chances. Both are playable. Bad idea. Okay, in any level it's possible to play. For example, in highest level, we can remember Kasparov won an excellent game against Vichy Anand, and for example, Halkias played against Kramnik and made draw with White. So, and King's Gambit also, there are many examples in the highest level, so it's still playable, especially it's good idea to play such opening if opponent doesn't expect it, so to surprise him. If you, for example, have good memory and your opponent just before the game did not repeat variation, so you have more practical chances. But so I feel like my everything, but a lot of things. Okay, so every about question of arc mount. So okay, it probably depends of your shape, depends of your mood is as well. So okay, it's not easy to play always in the same level. So it's a problem for many players. So how to improve this? Okay, try to keep yourself in good shape. Probably it's very individual, of course. Okay, for somebody it's useful to, just before the tournament to solve many studies or combinations. For somebody else, the best solution is just didn't see anything with chess before the tournament to keep your mind fresh. So, but what to suggest exactly to you, I don't know, because it's very individual. There are many methods, but there are no universal method which helps to everybody. So, okay, we have this position. Okay, another question. From this time played more aggressive tactical chess, I wonder. Okay, so please don't hurry. In today we will consider also game 6, very positional game, quiet positional game, and we will see how Adolf Anderssen outplayed Wilhelm Steinitz in purely positional style. In next game, in game number 6, now we are considered game number 5. So queen h3 was inaccuracy, so queen c3 was very strong and looks like winning for white, or approximately winning for white at least. But queen h3, okay, anyway, position looks like quite dangerous for black. So rook e6 played Steinitz. Black is looking for some tactical chances. But okay, for example, queen g4 played Anderssen. Knight takes h6 was possible because rook takes f2 it doesn't work because white taken with check and there is no mate rook e1. Bishop f2 is possible, but king h1 still situation looks like unpleasant for black. For example, rook e1, if to play, okay, knight g4 is the threat at the moment. Okay, maybe bishop d4 is the most solid, But after bishop d4, white can play take on f6 or even simply to play g3. Hello, which country are you from? So white has excellent attacking chances with queen and knight. Okay, so knight takes h6 was possible with queen g4. Of course, it's always strong. So queen g7, it's from United Kingdom. Okay, nice. So rook e6, Steinitz trying to defend his position, and now, of course, if so, queen g7 played Anderssen, but I don't know, frankly speaking. Oh, g3 it's possible just to improve king, but okay, maybe after g3 black wants to play d5 to prepare knight c4 with some chances to survive in this position. Still dangerous for black, but okay, if knight will come to c4 and will be no direct mate, so black has chances. Yes, it's no direct mate. Queen g7 is possible and queen h7, but okay, king d8. So black is still fighting. So queen g7 played Anderssen. He played g4, protect his knight. d5. Yes, rooks are good defenders, but king g2. So also, we can see now that both of players respected very much knight on f5 many years before the Garry Kasparov. And now, okay, knight on f5 is strong, and king g2, prophylactic move. Yes, now rook e1 is threat, but before king g2, rook e1 was not possible because black is taking with check. So king g2, white is preparing. Knight c4, and he took on b7. Probably now rook e1 was possible. Yes, was possible, but I'm not sure that this is easy win, because black can just take and play rook e2, and black has some chances for. White is much better, of course, so, but at least I don't see direct win. But okay, so queen takes b7 looks like totally logical to take one pawn more, and now knight g7 is threat. So knight e3 idea. Where is knight e3? Okay, so after rook e2, knight e3. Okay. Okay, knight e3, knight takes e3, bishop takes e3. Okay, even I will, if white will lost pawn f2. Okay, nothing terrible. Okay, maybe knight d2 somewhere. So black has some contraplay here, although anyway position looks like very hard for black. For example, queen g7 was played Anderssen. Why not just give check? So looks like bishop d8 only move, because if king f7, queen d7 losing immediately. King g6, queen g7 mate, or king this, and take the rook. So after queen c8, only move bishop d8, but after bishop d8, black can forget about any contraplay, because their bishop is not active anymore. So it looks like white can just play rook b1 to prepare rook b8. Knight b6. Okay, knight b6 only move. What else? Rook b8 or rook b7 is coming. So looks like totally winning for white, by the way. If knight b6, just queen a6 is totally enough. So white has material advantage, and yes, so queen c8 was totally winning move here. So was strong. Anderssen played queen g7. Okay, rook f e6. Okay, now black, at least all black pieces are active. So knight d2 is threat somewhere. So at least black can fight somehow. h4 played, d4. What is this? Okay, so I understand that if knight takes d4, he wants to take, and if queen takes d4, he wants to play knight e3, king g1, knight takes f1, king takes f1, and probably, if it's possible to take on a2, I hope rook is... He cannot... King f3? King f3, black will just take the rook. No, king g1 is better. This maybe black can just take. I hope white cannot win the rook immediately. No. Okay, so here, okay, white is better, but black has chances to draw. But okay, so d4. Can I see it? So queen g8 played Adolf. What else was possible? So plan of black to play knight e3 check somewhere and take with pawn. So this I can understand. Okay, so queen g8. Well, I'm not sure is it the best move or not. Probably other possibility. Okay, queen g8 is logical. Queen f7 is king c8, and now knight e7 was interesting idea. And my idea, if rook takes e7, just take on c4 with excellent winning chances. And hardly black can. If king b7, okay, maybe king b7 is possible. Just ignore if knight d5 check, king a6 somehow. And, black has some chances because knight e3. Okay, knight b6, a takes b6. Or maybe even knight e3 and then knight takes f1. Knight f4. Knight f4 is possible. Very nice move. Knight is okay, complicated, but what is this? Complicated, but looks like winning for or not. King f3, for example, knight takes f1, knight takes e6, d3 is coming, and f2 pawn is hanging, so knight c7, king a5 check, queen f5 check, king a4. Yes, it's really complicated. Knight takes e2. Knight takes e2 is your. Knight takes e2 is also. No, knight takes e2, knight d2 check, and then rook takes e2, and white has no check from c4. So knight takes e2 is mistake. So knight takes e6 is better, but d3. Knight d4. No, knight d4, knight d2 check, and then bishop takes d4. Okay, so let's come back. Let me see. I want to see this position. I have feelings that white should be winning, but I just want to understand how. Okay, what is problem with simple move rook c1? I'm just attacking your knight. So black just played d4, so my pawn f2 is not attacked immediately. So rook c1, and what black will play? After knight e3, I will just take. So knight e3 doesn't work. Knight e5 doesn't work as well. d3, I will just take the knight. Rook f2, king g3, and no, d3, rook c4. d2 maybe. d2. Maybe I have problem with pawn. But okay, just a moment. d3. So what is this? Maybe just knight e3 I can play. King h3, in which line? King h3. Here King h3 was proposition. King h3, knight f1, knight e6. Yes, I understand what you mean. Knight e6, and if d3, now to play knight d4, something like this. Or maybe, okay, maybe knight d4. Yes, it's interesting idea. But okay, bishop takes d4, queen c4 check, king b7. And if queen takes d4, d2 is coming. And yes, d2 is coming. Knight c7, bishop c7. Which moment knight c7? Knight c7 here. No, knight c7, bishop c7, queen c4, king b7. Then, but okay. What is my problem? Rook c1, d3, rook takes c2, this and this. What is my problem here? Can you explain me? Rook d2 e3 was proposition, but I will just take. And rook is hanging. So if queen takes e6 with check with easy win. Okay, maybe it's not totally easy, but okay, it should be winning. So white is exchange up, and okay, maybe not totally easy. No, but okay, for example, queen f6. Queen f6. Good move and good evening. Queen f6, and then I can take rook d6. Rook d6 here. Rook d6. This is serious. You are right. Suddenly, not easy. Bishop on b6 is very strong. So, queen e8, king c7. Yes, queen e8, king c7, by the way, and I don't see anything convincing. Okay, so d3, rook takes c4, d2 we are considering. What else? So knight e3, rook is 3, nice idea. And f takes e3, rook d6. Yes, and suddenly. Okay, so it wasn't such an easy. So this d2. Yes. Suddenly black is fine. Okay, so d4, just a moment. What else we have? So knight g7 played Adolf Anderssen. Okay, what else? So knight e7, it's interesting. What about knight g3? Simple move. Knight e3 check. And knight takes f1. And if knight takes king f3, so I will show you this. If king f3, black has this resource, knight h2, knight d2, and then takes. So knight g3 doesn't work. Not. Also question if I will just play prophylactic move, rook d1. Why not rook d1? Rook d1, I'm attacking pawn d4, and if d3, my plan is simple, I just want to take. Rook takes f2 check, king g or h3, king g3 for example. g5, you mean here g5? Also interesting question. Yes, okay, g5 may be also possible idea, g6, g7, yes, why not? Takes. Yes, d3, g6, d2, g7, just in time. Yes, good. Looks like good idea. Yes, d3, g6, yes. Maybe you are totally right. Very simple, just push the pawn. Yes, looks like white is winning here. d3, g6, d2, g7, with check. Rook e5, which rook? 6 e5 impossible, because I will take knight. So another rook, I'm just playing g6. So. Yes, g5 was strong, yes. Yes, so g5. Okay, maybe rook d1. It's okay, but in practical game it wasn't so easy. For example, rook c1 looks tempting, but actually not so strong. So in practical game, white has space for mistake. Well, maybe g5 is the strongest, right? Rook f5 and knight e3, yes, but if with this rook I will just take, and you cannot take my knight because rook is hanging. If another rook, just g6 now, you cannot take my knight. So you can play only knight d6, but it doesn't look like. Okay, I can just take and play g7. Rook g5 check and rook g6 also. Okay, so rook e5, g6, knight d6. Okay, I can just take and f4, for example. Looks like easy winning for white, because take rook and g7, rook g6 check. So okay, knight d6. Okay, just take and rook h1 may be winning. So, okay, f4 probably is the simplest way to win. Because white has so strong passive pawns. Okay, so but Anderssen played knight g7. Okay, probably not the best, but knight e3 check. Knight e3 check. King g1 he played. Why king g1? So king f3 looks more natural, by the way, but we can check. So knight takes f1 looks like only possibility for black. Knight takes e6. Is it totally winning for white? Okay, so he played knight g7. Maybe it's a good move also, because he attacked rook immediately. So knight e3, but now king f3 looks like totally winning. So knight takes f1 only move. I don't see any alternatives because both rooks are hanging. So knight takes f1, knight takes e6, and for example, after d3, I have just check and check. And king a6 is impossible because queen takes d3, so king b8 is only move. Maybe now there is no force in win. Because if... Okay, queen takes d3, what is this? It's not so clear. So, for example, we can try this. King e4 only move. Knight d2 check, king e5, and knight f3 is coming, and white cannot win this position because if king d6, rook d2, if king e4, move repetition, draw. So, but okay, king b8. I want to check if there is something better here. Knight d8. No, knight d8, rook takes f2, king e4 now. Okay, maybe knight d8 is good idea. But no, but knight d2, there is intermediate check. And still not so easy, at least. Okay, just a moment. So this position. King g3 after knight d2, maybe, but bishop c7 check somehow. Maybe it's not enough, however. King h3 simply. If rook takes f2, knight takes c6. If king knight a5 check, maybe white is winning. King b8 not possible, so king b6 is only move. Queen c6 check. After takes, at least queen c5 and queen takes f2. It should be winning. Or maybe just queen takes c7 is winning as well. Knight f1 earlier, knight f1, knight f1. So knight d2 we are considered king, knight f1 here, knight f1, king h3 simply. Oh, it looks like, okay, so king f3 was very promising for white, very close to win at least. But king g1 played, rook e4. And now g4 is attacked and black has serious contraplay. So probably king g1 was just a mistake. Yes, now situation is totally changed. So this looks like serious mistake, king g1. So king f3 was strong. Knight f1 only move, d3. So this is totally forcing line. And knight d8. Just a moment, d3. Yes. Queen d7, king b8, and knight d8. Yes. knight h2, king g3 anyway. Yes, it looks like. Rook takes f2, king e4. No perpetual check. Knight g3, king d3. So we can try this. Maybe king e5 is possible, but so if this rook f3, it's idea to organize perpetual check. Maybe this is perpetual check. Because rook f4, rook f3, rook f2, rook f1. This is draw. Nice perpetual check. Rook f4, rook f2, rook f3, rook f1. Fantastic, yes. But okay, after knight g3, king e5, maybe winning. So, king e5, bishop c7 or rook e2. Only two checks. But okay, if bishop c7, king e6. d2, okay. Knight takes c6, king, and knight a5 check, same motive as before. Yes, but still. Knight a5 check. So if king b6, knight c4 is possible. So king a6 only move. Because this losing immediately, I will take the pawn. So king a6, but after king a6, black has no serious threats, and it looks like I can just play knight b3. It's totally winning for white. a4 may be possible as well, but knight b3 is more simple. Okay, but a4 maybe you are right. It's also winning. Knight b3, knight e4 was proposition. Okay, just check and check and check. Let's finish. So, okay, it looks like king f3 was winning, but after king g1, a terrible mistake, probably moved to 36, probably was time trouble after such complicated game. And now after rook e4, situation is totally changed. Now f3 he played. Okay, probably was possible to take, and the question if black has something more than perpetual check. I'm not sure. Maybe just perpetual check. If d takes e6, queen e6 is coming, so white has too many checks. So probably this is just perpetual check. d3 instead of rook takes g4. d3 here. Okay. Queen f5 check. And I will take the rook. d takes e3, again queen f5 check. So it looks like after f takes e3, only what black has to take on g4 and to give perpetual check. So probably it was correct solution. Rook 4 e3, but okay, knight f5. Not convincing. No, so f takes e3 is draw, but Adolf played f3 and now d3. And now it's bad news for white because black has rook h4 and now d takes e3 is proposition. Yes, I considered this, but queen e6 check and what? So king b7 only move. But okay, black has no serious threats even. Okay, for example, knight f5 is possible at least. And then knight d6 is coming. No. Queen e7 wins rook. Thank you. Even this. Yes. Yes, so it looks like only what can do black it's perpetual check. But f3 it's another blunder, and after f3, d3 it looks like probably black is winning already because white totally lost coordination between their pieces and black has too many threats. So king h1 not possible because of mate, of course. So rook f2, bishop f2, king h1. Okay, now it's, yes, elegant finish. King f3, because if king h3, rook g3, of course. So d2 and black won. So, okay, so very interesting game. So, Anderssen had a big advantage, but he lost, yes, finally. Okay, so now game 6. So score after game 5 was 4-1 in favor of Steinitz. And but in game 6, Anderssen won. We will see. This is very tactical game, but the next game it will be very positional game. We will follow. So e4, c5, Sicilian. So it means that Anderssen doesn't want to play King's Gambit anymore. Our brain can relax. Okay, we'll see. Maybe, but who knows? G3 was choice of Steinitz. The most popular line here is knight f3, of course. No, now Anderssen is black, Steinitz is white. In previous game, King's Gambit, Steinitz was white. No, not King's Gambit, Evans Gambit, I mean. Now Anderssen is black, and Steinitz played g3. And knight c6 played Anderssen. Interesting line here is d5 and knight f3, bishop g4, bishop g2, queen e6, king f1, bishop h3. This is a theoretical line. So, for example, Alexei Fedorov, grandmaster from Belarus, he likes to play g3 systems, but usually he starts with d3. And only after knight c6 he plays g3. With idea if d5, not take on d5, but play knight d2 and then bishop g2 and to play reverse at King's Indian. It's a logical choice for him because he likes to play classical King's Indian with black against d4, so now he has same with extra tempo. So choice of Alexei Fedorov is d3 here. G3 is possible, but after G3 it's a very principal way d5, which I showed. But okay, this is according to modern theory. So that time theory was different. So knight c6, bishop g2, e5. Okay, according to modern theory, g6 looks like more serious, and bishop g7, black has flexible position. many plans possible in future. So d6 is possible, e5 and knight g7, or e6 and knight g7. For example, here f4, black has choice between d6, between e6 and knight g7 as well. But e5 played Adolf, knight e2. So again, Steinitz likes to have a knight on e2 or on e7 with black. Bishop d6, bishop c7, not in this position. So there are such variations, but in this position I don't think this is a good idea. The most solid idea, of course, is to play g6, bishop g7, knight g7, this plan. But knight f6 he played. And knight f6, it looks like black is preparing for d5. So, but according to modern theory, white has castle. And this is more flexible move than knight c3, which Steinitz played. Because, for example, if black just developing pieces, white has plan c3 and to push d4 in next move. If d5, just take, and d4 is excellent possibilities. If d5 immediately take, knight c3. If black is taking, it's possible to take with b pawn, and then rook b1 is coming. If bishop e6, it's important method d3. If bishop e7, f4 with very famous trap. So e takes f4 now, it's a huge mistake for black, because bishop takes d5. Only move bishop takes d5, knight takes f4. Now knight b4 is losing because a3. Okay, black has some practical chances after bishop c6, a, b, c, b, but it's not enough. And also after knight b4, white can just take and play queen f3, maybe even more simple. After knight f6, just take pawn on b6 with pawn up and much better position. So this is a famous trap. Okay, black can avoid this, so much better to take. If knight takes c3, e takes f4, bishop takes f4, castle. And this position is playable for both. But okay, so knight c3, Steinitz stop at d5, bishop d6. Castle, bishop e7, f4. h5, very positional move. So Anderssen doesn't want to castle, but I don't know is it the best way or not. But he afraid attack in king wing. So with f5, h3, g4. So he using this prophylactic method, very popular in modern chess. Of course, it's not totally necessary. Black can do something else. For example, rook b8 looks logical to prepare b5. But okay, so h5 played Anderssen. And I don't think that h4 is a threat now, so white can play d3 if h4, f5 is possible. Takes, even takes with knight is possible, or take with pawn as well. So. But okay, so looks like Steinitz considered h5, h4 like the threat for him, so he played h3, bishop d7. Again, black can try rook b8 to prepare b5, bishop d7 played Anderssen, knight d5. Yes, queen c8. About queen c8 I'm not sure. According to modern chess, h4 and knight takes g4. Let's see if it's serious. Knight takes g4. Takes. Okay, but I'm not sure that this is enough. Bishop f3, for example, is possible. So I don't think that black has enough compensation here. So bishop d7. Knight d5, queen c8. Queen c8 looks like a little bit strange, More natural for me looks just take and play knight d4. These positions more or less equal, in my opinion. Okay, but queen c8 played Anderssen. Knight takes f6 played Steinitz. Of course, white has choice. Was possible to take on e7 as well, and then play f5. After I don't know who will take. If knight takes, f5 is possible. Idea d3, bishop g5. So if king takes, maybe f5 as well. Because if g6, white has some ideas like this, bishop g5, then knight c3. c3, d4, okay, depends of concrete position. Sometimes it's good, but c3, d4, it's necessary to calculate concrete variation. So knight takes f6 took Steinitz, bishop f6, f5. And now important moment, so it looks like white wants to have structure c4, d3, knight c3, knight d5, something like this. Because of this, c3 in since 3 instead of knight takes f6, c3 here, but your pawn is hanging. And for example, if takes, knight c7 doesn't work because knight g4 is coming. So c3 at the moment not possible. Good evening. So knight f6, bishop f6, f5. And now important positional moment. So if imagine knight f6, yes. If imagine that white will play d3 and c4, black bishop f6 will be passive. So at the moment, very logical for black looks idea bishop g5 to exchange this bishop. So if d3, just take. If queen takes c1, probably queen d8. Now black has solid position because white bishop on g2 is quite passive. So bishop g5 positionally was correct move now. But knight e7, it's looks like positional mistake. Can you d5 right instead of knight e7? Just a moment. Knight d5, f5 now? Instead of knight takes e7, f5 now? No, no. If f5 now, probably taken knight d4, and white has some problem with f5 pawn, although maybe possible just take and then bishop e4 to play. In my last move, so okay, here, f5. D5 you mean? No, d5, okay, maybe just eat. Okay, even knight c3 looks promising for white. If you take, I will take with knight, with set knight d6. Also, maybe takes bishop e7 is possible. My knight is strong, but I need to protect. If f6, g takes f6, I have problem with my pawn on h3 suddenly. But well, this is not sure. So this. If bishop h3, for example, bishop takes c6 and queen e2, and who knows what is this. Okay, so in my opinion, bishop g5 was the best idea for black now. Knight e7 I don't like, c4, Steinitz immediately fixed it. Also, d3 was possible, probably Steinitz didn't want to allow d5. But I don't know how strong it is. Now even g4 is possible to consider. Takes, white has threat g5. If d takes e4, g5 is coming. I'm not sure that black will have enough compensation for a piece. Although, who knows? So e takes d3, and for example, if c takes d3, bishop c6, maybe it's not so clear. Okay, maybe. But so c4 idea is stop at d5. And again, in this position, I like bishop g5. But queen d8 played Anderssen, knight c3, okay, d3 more precise. Bishop c6, again bishop g5, so Anderssen doesn't want to play bishop g5. Bishop c6, strange square for bishop, it's much more natural square for the knight, of course, d3. And now there is no bishop g5 anymore, so white is clearly better because of space advantage and because both bishops, black bishops, are in bad positions. And white can white has better chances in both flanks. In the king's flank, they can play. Yes, king d7. It's for modern chess, okay, but g6 is not. King d7 more or less standard in modern chess. But anyway, white is better because white can prepare rook b1 before. G6 is not easy with rook on f1. Yes, big pawn. So queen d7. a3, so standard plan, a5 he played. And now, of course, white can block position a4 and then try to win in king's flank. But Steinitz wants to play more flexible, b3 he played. He wants to prepare rook b1 and a4 and b5. Now bishop e3. So very logical is a4 here, standard method. So, for example, takes, and then knight b5 is coming, and white has much better position. Okay, it's of course not so easy to win, but yes, something like this. Yes. Knight b5, rook a2, bishop f3, and okay. Usually, of course, black is suffering. So a4 was positionally totally correct. So a4, b takes a4. But bishop e3 played Steinitz and b4, ab, cb. So Anderssen wants to organize contraplay. So a takes b4 looks logical, but now white is better, but black has excellent drawing chances. So after c takes b4, it means that in future Anderssen is planning to fight for c5 square for his knight. We will see. Knight a4, not only move, totally possible was to go with knight. Knight e2, for example, was totally logical to preserve knight from exchange. I don't think that a4 is dangerous for white because of the queen d2. I think black pawns in queen's flank, it's not so strong. But okay, it's not so clear. So queen b7, for example, b takes a4, rook takes a4, rook takes a4, bishop takes a4. White bishop on c2, g2 is passive, so rook b1, so knight c6, maybe d4, so it's something complicated. Maybe better for white. So, okay, knight e2 was possible, but knight e4 he played, so took and knight c6. So now we can see that black knight is more close for important square c5. Looks like black is fighting for this 4 square, but as we can see in future, so queen d2 and bishop d8. Excellent. So bishop d8 demonstrate excellent positional understanding of Anderssen. So he is preparing plan queen b7, bishop b6, exchange his bad bishop. And d4 played Steinitz, of course. Anderssen is black, Steinitz white. In previous game, which I considered, Anderssen was white, it was Evans' gambit. But now Anderssen is black, Steinitz is white. Please attract your attention. So black is preparing queen b7, bishop b6 plan. d4 played Steinitz. Of course, white has alternatives, but not easy, because black plan is clear. Of course, d4. Okay, maybe we can consider rook a1, for example, queen b7, queen f2 to stop bishop b7, but black can play rook b8. And not so clear what white will do against bishop b6. So d4 played. Stayed is bishop b6. Black pawn is action. If c5, d takes c5 is possible. And if d takes c5, white just losing the pawn. After d5, knight d4 is coming. And black is pawn up, by the way. And compensation not so clear. So d5, queen a7, tactical resource. Takes, king h1. And now looks like very natural knight d4. But after knight d4, white can just defend the pawn, and knight on d4 is beautiful, but cannot move from this. Okay, of course, black is better here, but if white will just wait, it's not so easy to win for black. Okay, it's possible to play something like f6, king e7, and then probably rook h6, g6 prepare. So black has winning chances. So knight d4 was very natural, but knight d8 played Anderssen, fantastic resource. So his idea to play knight b7, knight c5. So, and after the game, who can declare that Anderssen was worse positional player as Steinitz? But actually, I'm not sure that knight d8 is better, because white has strong contraplay. Somewhere c5. Okay, after knight d4, okay, there is winning chances for, because bishop is terrible, and black need to consolidate position and to prepare g6 in some moment. So it's very close, but very unpleasant for white to play. But knight d8, objectively, I'm not sure that this is so good move, because white has some active possibilities. c5 in some moment it's possible to consider, for example. If queen, if trade, okay, if trade queen without tactics, okay, queen f2 is very bad, because knight b7, and if rook e2, king d7, for example. And no, so white should play with queen, of course. So after knight d8, but only question how to play. In my opinion, sorry, f6. After, you mean queen f2, queen f2 is your proposition. Knight b7 to play f6 here, okay, but what is your achievement? F6 no threats, I can play even this. I'm just winning. No, queen f2 it's a bad move, certainly, because white chance it's attack to create attack against black king. So. In my opinion, f6, for example, is very interesting to check immediately. So if g takes f6, rook takes f6, and now white has serious contraplay. For example, knight b7, rook a1 maybe, and then rook f1 somehow, or queen g5 somewhere. If black plays g6, looks natural, but now white also has active ideas. For example, to play c5 is possible. c5, If take with pawn, probably queen g5 is possible. Also, it's not so clear again. So queen g5, queen d6. What is this? Okay, rook c1. Rook maybe a1. Now pawn is hanging. If knight b7, bishop f1, and now white bishop, it's not bad, and bishop b5 is coming. If g6, if g6, my plan to play c5 again. So I want to sacrifice this pawn, but activate my bishop. So if queen takes c5, rook c1 is coming. So my idea, bishop f1 to activate. If d takes c5, so white has very serious contraplay, but this contraplay should be connected with c4, c5 in some moment. And probably during the game, Steinitz didn't understand this. So he played queen g5, king f8. Black is just defending. f6 he played, g6. And h4. Again, even in this moment, I think c5 was the best chance for white. So queen takes c5, this is because d takes c5, I can take pawn on e5 and rook c1, and now white has active position. So okay, before white could have this in beta version, but probably even here it was the best choice. So black should play somewhere with queen. Queen, maybe even queen f2 is possible to consider. So probably better was to have queen on d2 for white. So queen g5 I don't like. But okay, c4, okay, queen g5, so c5, h4 played. So c5, queen takes c5, rook c1, queen f2. Now probably not enough because knight b7, knight c5, black are ready to play. Also, is it so clear? For example, I play h4. If knight b7, for example, I can play rook c6. Because if knight c5, I have rook takes a5. So at the moment, maybe even rook c7 is more forced attack knight. With idea knight c5 is losing because rook takes a5. If queen b6, rook c6 with tempi. So not so easy. Yes, king g8, logical idea, but yes, but maybe now I can play rook c7 and not allow knight b7. So positions. White has contraplay at least. So rook e7 also idea and rook e8. So c5 was correct idea for white, but white played h4, so he missed the moment, and after knight b7, it looks like Anderssen totally realized his plan. King f8 blunder. Okay, king f8 was only move because black needs to defend. Okay, maybe rook h7 was possible, by the way. Maybe rook h7 was more precise, but it's not so obvious. Maybe rook h7 was more precise. But okay, it's far from obvious. Anyway, white has idea c5. Bishop f3 also possible. Yes, you are right. Even bishop f3, knight b7 also. Bishop takes h5, knight c5. I don't know what is this. But okay, anyway, c5 there is idea, and now rook c1, so, and somewhere bishop f1, bishop b5 check, so c5 it's it's a very standard idea in such type of position. But okay, so that's a difficult question if rook h7 is better or not, so, or worse. But sometimes black has idea. For example, if bishop f3, immediately knight b7 is possible. Sure. Just a moment, please. Okay, I'm here. Just a moment. Everybody can hear me? Is it everything okay? Yes, okay. So, like idea. So, here, knight c5. And what is this? Because bishop f7 is necessary to check also, but I don't know. Bishop f7, knight takes e4 is possible. f6, yes, but g6. And what is this? Bishop g6, black can just take, and if queen takes g6, rook a7. And I don't see anything good for white here. Rook is hanging. Also, okay, who knows, f7. If takes on a4, queen f6, there is idea. Rook is attacked. If rook takes h3, king g2. My idea, queen g7 check in some moment. Rook h7 simply. Okay, it's rubbish. Yes, it doesn't work. So, okay, so bishop. But also probably bishop takes f7, knight takes e4 is strong. And white is just losing. Queen c7 instead of rook a7. Queen c7. Yes, maybe it's possible as well. Yes, maybe it's also possible. f7, just take the rook, and queen f6, rook h7. Yes, yes. Okay, so this doesn't work. So black, so correct idea for white to push c5 in some moment. And objectively, I think knight d4 was stronger than knight d8, but with idea knight d8, knight b7, knight c5, I can only admire. So because for that time it was great idea, and I can just a moment. Just a moment. I can give you small excursion to the chess history. So after e4, c5, knight f3, d6, this position, there is well-known e5 move, and it called like Boleslavsky system. That's correct, that Boleslavsky played this line many times and won many spectacular games, although lost against Botvinnik. I recommend to see game Botvinnik-Boleslavsky. But it's interesting that Louis Paulsen played e5 many years before than Boleslavsky. So, and interesting that in one game which Paulsen played with black, he realized that idea very typical for modern chess. So it was something like knight b3, bishop e7. I'm not so sure about move order, but I will illustrate just example. Everybody can find in mega database. So this position put Paulsen, so, and you will see this game. So knight b3, bishop e7, castle, castle, and I don't remember what white plays. So something like bishop a3, a6, queen d2, b5, f3, bishop b7, some move like king h1, and now Paulsen played knight b8. It's fantastic resource for that time. So for that time, moves such like knight b8, it's totally unbelievable. But Paulsen played this, and then knight b7. So it was many years before the Breyer system. Yes. But in Spanish, knight b8, knight d7, Breyer system. But interesting that nobody have seen any game of dual Breyer where he played knight b8. So in the highest level, in the high level, the first player who started to play knight b8, knight d7 system was Georgy Borisenko from Uzbekistan. But I don't know why it called like Breyer system. Okay, so go back to Steinitz and Anderssen. Okay, but Breyer system is still popular. I am not agree that a good player not playing. Magnus even playing Breyer system quite often. Also, Mamedyaru, for example, played a lot, and other players as well. So, okay, so let's come back to our heroes. I will write white king g1, bishop f1, pawn b6 c5 f7, b6 c5 f7. Blacks. So please, when you giving a puzzle, start with king, queen, rook. This is more comfortable to write. So start with queen, the king, the queen, rook, bishop, knight, and only after the pawn, please. So, but okay, I will try to write. So, just a moment. So, king g1, bishop f1, pawn b6, c5, f7. Black king a8. It's white. So black king a8, knight e6, pawn b7 c6, f5, f6. Okay, I will think white to move. Okay, so after. Okay, I can take my chess set and put on the board this. Just a moment. To check if this is right. So knights, pawns. Well, so scolded. What means scolded? English is not my native language, so I don't know what scolded. If somebody will explain what it means. So king on g1. Aha, I need white king. So knights. Okay, so king. Bishop on c1. Bishop. Bishop on c1 or f1. Bishop. Bishop c1. So bishop also. I need just a moment, please. I will try and demonstrate the position. Okay, so white bishop c1, king on g1, knight on no knight for white. For white, bishop and king and pawns. B6, c5 and f7. Pawns. Black pawns b6, c7, f5, f6, knight e6, king a8. This position is it correct position? Is it correct position? Yes, correct. Okay, just a moment. So I understand if to play bishop h6 it is an f8, this is draw. Bishop f4, knight d8. Now white cannot. So knight e6. Knight g6, knight takes c5. Okay, so I'm considered bishop f4, knight d8, f8 knight e6, knight g6, knight takes c5, and what is this? King somewhere. Okay, what else I have? I have also plan to play bishop. No, bishop f4, knight d8. If king f2, king b8, bishop to tell someone in angry way don't like. Okay. Scold. Okay. Okay, anyway, I need time to solve it, so okay, I will try to solve before my next video, but now, okay, I will continue to show Steinitz Anderssen. Sorry, yes, Steinitz Anderssen. Scold, yes. Okay, so where we are? We are in Sicilian defense, not in King's Gambit. So here. So knight b7 now. So h4, knight b7 now. Okay, we can admit that Steinitz totally outplayed his opponent. White has no idea. White cannot prevent knight c5, and situation is bad for white. Looks like, at least. I'm thinking, for example, if this knight c5, if imagine that black will take on a4, rook takes a4, white has some chances for draw, but at the moment white cannot defend b3 pawn. It's very important. But sorry, queen d2 is possible. And if knight takes b3, rook takes b4 is coming. Yes, rook takes b4 is coming. And after knight takes a4, rook takes a4, white has chances for draw. Because looks like fortress. not bishop f3, king g2. White is just waiting. How black will improve this position, it's not so clear. So here still white has chances for draw, but it was important to understand this idea with exchange sacrifice. So rook a1, knight c5, and queen d2. Just on time. Okay, rook a7 is possible. Yes, but in future, but it's not so easy. But g5, I will have bishop on f3. After g5, pawn h5 can be attacked. So it's okay. Maybe black has winning chances. Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here. Is there any problem with sound? TSF, Turkish chess. TSF, what is this? Is it Turkish Chess Federation or what? Stream is perfect. Nice. Okay, so here it's not easy to win. Rook a7 is possible, by the way, but okay, queen d1. Maybe now takes, and queen f2 is coming. This is unpleasant. But okay, queen f3 and without queens, okay, without queens, black can push g5, so it looks it should be winning. Okay, also this, if rook g8, white has taken g4, so okay, white still has some chances for draw. But Steinitz played bishop h3 and rook d8. Rook d8, frankly speaking, I don't understand. Why not immediately knight c5? So what he was afraid? Yes, it was a big question for me. So why not knight c5? It's e4 is also hanging. So it's very strange moment. So why rook d8? We have no idea. Bishop f5, okay, but bishop f5, even rook a7 is possible to stop any active ideas. Yes, so it's very strange moment. So rook d8 he played, and now rook a2. So why not rook a1 to prevent knight c5? So it's, I don't know. So something very strange. So in these moves. So again, rook a1 was possible, but Steinitz didn't play. So something very strange. But now finally he realized that his plan, and black is positionally winning, and king is ready to go to c7 in Petrosian style. Queen e3, king d8, so now everything is okay for black, but okay, probably some mistake in text. So bishop e6, Steinitz is looking for contraplay, but queen b7, very quiet. So Anderssen even doesn't want to take the bishop. So if consider this game, we can see that Anderssen for sure was excellent positional player. King g1, a4. So attack started. Black has very strong passive pawn, and position look, it's like winning for black. b2, rook takes a4, so king c7. So b2 pawn will bring. Okay, now it's white is totally hopeless because all trumps are in hands of black. So b2, h6, queen b4, queen f8. White is looking for some chances, but Anderssen played good. Queen d3, attacking g3. So okay. The end of game, it's remember game Fischer between Petrosian from Caro-Kann. also Petrosyan won with a lot of maneuvers with king. Petrosyan won with black. So I strongly recommend to everybody to refresh this famous game in his memory. Rook c3, excellent. King b6, so nice. King c5. And white has no defense and against rook f1 check. Rook c1 check. If rook b1, rook c2. If rook f2 doesn't help because rook c1 check and rook c2. Well, so rook b1 played Steinitz, rook c2, and after desperate check, king c4, and here is Steinitz. So, okay, so what can I say? So after this game, score is 4-2 in favor of Steinitz. And yes, after king c4 is over, of course, king c4 was not only move, king d4 was winning as well. So, okay, for today I planned also to show my games against my game against Hauge from match between Norway and Ukraine, but I see my clock, it's quite late, so my game against Hauge I will show in my next video. I think for today it's enough. Thanks for your attention. And what can I say? That okay, of course, I will try to solve the study, and we will discuss about this in next video. And I want to remember about my simul in Sunday. It is simul to support, it's charity simul to support Ukrainian army. If somebody wants to help, please join to the simul, and after stopping the sound, I will send again all of information about the simul in Sunday. In Lichess, it will. I remember about spectator Voyetra, so I will send PGN file. Yes, in Lichess, my nickname in Lichess is Pizamo. So in Lichess, not in Chess.com, and after stopping the sound, I will send here all of information again. Yes, Pisamo, right. So please wait and follow it. And thanks for your attention and good night. So I will do it now. Just a moment, please.